Coach Barry Robinson, A Million Styles Boxing. I heard the most wonderful song today, and it was my first time hearing a song, and it blew me away. It was called Can I by the great Eddie Kendricks. Just a wonderful song. But the thing is actually, I heard first I didn't realize it was a sampled song. It was by Talib Kweli and Bilal, and it's called Talk to You slash Lil Darlin'. But then I heard the original today. It just felt right with my film study energy. I heard it after I was coming back from the gym and the sauna. And then I had it on repeat, like pretty much the entire drive back to my house. Anyway, this is Strickland versus Hernandez. And I wrote a few things down on the board. The first thing I wrote down was we all fall short of the glory of God. We all fall short of the glory of God. God has the power to let you try it. I don't know what made me write that down, but I thought, Strickland, he's taking his lumps, his losses. And also, let it be known, I hate talking about people personally. I really don't. I really do. I really don't like talking about people personally. I just feel like it feels cringy to me. And maybe it's because I'm from the 81 era and I just don't see the point in talking about people personally. It just doesn't move me. But I have a big empathy for Strickland because Strickland is probably in the vein of people like myself that are a little bit honest. They wear their heart on their sleeve. Um, and you could tell there's a struggle, daily struggle. And they do their best to fit in society. But, the great Dave Chappelle said, uh, maybe the issue is with society. Maybe it's not with them. To just that we're always labeling people crazy or something negative. Anyway, so sure, Sean Strickland, he's taking his lumps, his losses. But Sean Strickland should know, and all people should know, that we all fall short of greatness. But greatness is also knowing how much in control you are. So we all fall short of the glory of God, and God has the power to let you try it. Am I going to do these notes randomly? I think so. I think Strickland won this fight in a few different bases. Directly after the fight, I said to myself, walking around the ring, a few ghost steps here and there. But I left out steps, loche. They were like hybrid of four bases, really walking around the ring, loche, steps. And that's significant. It's significant because this is a high-level fight against a guy on an 8-fight winning streak that has a good highlight reel, that believes in himself, is confident, doing it for his family, did strength and conditioning, believes in his skills. It's really important that I say a few different bases. And obviously, I want to rant and yell at you guys that you guys do not do the program as recommended, which brings me to my other point. I could kind of slide to the right of the board here. I've said it a zillion times because you might take it. People, there's the quote, there's more to reading than word meets eye. And it's an important quote. It's an important quote because I think you have to be a little bit creative and understand things further than face value. You got to be able to, there's more to reading than word meets eye. So sure, some people are going to look at Sean Strickland and go, well, he spars a lot. And then when they say spars a lot, the highlights you see of him sparring is against the street guy, the YouTubers, and you see him being aggressive with his offense, but I don't think he spars high-level guys that way. I really don't think that. I think that what you see in fights is the same way he spars, the same pace of play. I think that's his pace of play. But anyway, it's funny because when you say he won with a few different bases, and then you think about something that I've been telling you guys for years. I said, listen, guys, in the NBA, they had a guy named Dirk Nowitzki, the big German. He shot the one leg fadeaway, raised his knee high, jumped off of one leg, and shot the ball over the top of the defense. But he created that space to raising that one leg. We talk about high horns, something in the air, and then we looked at the Lucas Ochtenberg, the big German. Actually, ironically, the big German I just made a film study of in his development. And you talk about him putting a high shin between him as an opponent. So, we like to separate all the sports, but you think of Dirk Nowitzki, high shin between him and his opponent, one leg fadeaway. And so I said that NBA coaches do a great job, a phenomenal job of seeing skills and techniques and then creating drills because everybody can't be special. We can't look at Sean Strickland and go, oh, he spars a lot. So all of a sudden, you're just going to have the tools. I swear it's been a theme for half a year. You're just going to all of a sudden have the tools to do what he does know. So I wrote down Dirk and I wrote down a few different bases. Hopefully you're seeing how those work in concert. You guys got to you do what the fuck you want. You do what the fuck you want. But he won his fight walking, loche, steps around the ring, sprinkled in with a few ghost steps, hybrid. Kobe quote, to be unstoppable, you first must be predictable. Kobe repeated it. He repeated it. He wanted people to hear what he was saying. Mind you, he was talking to a group of Chinese students. To be unstoppable, you first must be predictable. Because if you're unpredictable, you don't know what you're going to do. So how can you dictate to the defense what you're going to do? What a quote. Because, Barry, how does that? Well, game plans. I said Sean Strickland has fallen short, maybe not being sharp or being locked in or being motivated, whatever the reason was, he lost. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk. I'm going to teep your base. I'm going to jab. I'm going to be just outside, so you got to reach to punch me so I can try to counter you. And this is what I'm going to do. To be unstoppable, you first must be predictable. To be unstoppable, you first must be predictable. Because if you're unpredictable, you don't know what you're going to do. So how can you dictate to the defense what you're going to do? Meanwhile, you guys are developing a game plan per fight. Versus this guy, I'm going to abandon all of my fucking fundamentals and do this. Versus this guy and girl, I'm going to do that. Versus, dude, every fight, are you not going to be in walking, loche, steps, galloping, ghost steps? Every fight, you're not going to be in those bases? Every fight, you're not going to defend against the jab? Every fight, you're not going to control the air? Every fight, you're not going to be at the 50, 70 faint statistic category? Is that not every fight? Is that only... To be unstoppable, you first must be predictable. Because if you're unpredictable, you don't know what you're going to do. So how can you dictate to Anthony Hernandez, who's hungry, what you're going to do? Dean Thompson or Dean Smith, I don't know his name, the commentator, he said something during the fight that I was flabbergasted. That's not a word you get to use often. He said that Anthony Hernandez should eat a few jabs to close the distance and wrestle Strickland. That was eye-opening. He didn't say he should catch a few jabs. I swear to you, he didn't say that. I wouldn't make that up, guys. I swear to you, he didn't say he should catch a few jabs. He said he should eat a few jabs so he could get close. I swear to you, he said that. I would not make it up. Bisping, during a fight, claimed that when the time was right, he didn't say Strickland, unbelievable offense. He said when the time was right, he finished Anthony Hernandez. Time implies that the 3 rounds before the finish happened in the 3rd round, that there was other things going on. And those things were very important because time was right implies that everything that happened before the finish was very important. Does that statement not imply that everything that happened before the finish should be trained, should be a part of your game plan, your foundation. You should be training under overload. I think it implies that. I could be wrong, but I think it implies. So Bisping said when the time was right, then he had confidence and momentum to be offensive. But before that, everything that happened before that, extremely important. Next, this one's going to be, it shouldn't be controversial, but I'm going to say this. The way Strickland fought yesterday, nobody's booing. But when Nickel fights like that, everybody's booing. People were booing during Adesanya Romero. People were booing via Silva Belfort. I don't know why that is. I really don't. But the way Strickland fought yesterday, it's okay for you to fight that way also. Take your time. And when the time is right, to be unstoppable, you first must be predictable, to operate in a few different bases. And remember, more than anything, that God has the power to let you try it. What a fucking opening monologue.